right now. It's like God like talks that way too, confirms it. What you're saying is true, and maybe I'll just enjoy it for a second. It's amazing to me to learn the language that God is speaking, because I always wanted to know that people were saying things and how they were saying them or what they were saying didn't always go with what they were, if you were yelling it, you were like, oh, you're mad at me, I can't hear a word you're saying, and God is so different than the humans that we know. And so basically this came out of a love for God and wanting to hear what he was saying, and a love for words and their meanings, and looking into the deeper parts of words and the roots, and did they come from the Old English, or did they come from the French or the Spanish, or what language did it come from, and what did it mean at the very beginning of the word. So I have a couple verses here first, 3 verses that a really easy one is study to show yourself approved unto God, etc., etc. And I looked up the word study, and it means endeavor, due diligence, be diligent. But the word labor is what I was interested in. Of course, it means study too. But labor, it's like, oh, we're just going to look at it, we're going to find the meaning in the dictionary, and bang. No, it might take a little bit of work. So then Acts 17, 10, and 11, it talks about the people in Berea, that they looked into the things that Paul said, and they searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. And the word searched means examine, judge, ask. But the word discern, the meaning discern, because we think of discern as, okay, somebody's got a spirit on them, and we have to discern, if that's a good spirit or bad spirit, and that takes a little bit of waiting on the Lord, and, some people have the gift of discernment, so it's a little easier for them. But a lot of times discerning, you really have to get a witness with your spirit that God's spirit is saying that particular thing. And a lot of times he just totally confirms it. Or he confirms that it's like, move on to the next thing. And then the third scripture is in Proverbs 25:2, and it says, it's the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings to search it out, or search out a matter. And search out meant find out, seek, try. So we definitely have to try, don't we? There has to be some sort of effort. And the last part of that, it means sounded. I do not understand that, but I have a feeling Melody's going to touch on that later. So that was really curious to me. So then I'm just going to go into a practical way. Okay, let's say you get a dream, and Melody got me started on this. She came to town, and she had a little workshop in somebody's house, and she says, Carmi, you're going to be on the computer. Just go to Google and type in the name, meaning of, and put the name. And on that very screen, so if you want to go ahead, Barb, and put up C1, on that very screen, which I'm just going to give you the look. And I put a little arrow where it says www.google.com. And then where the X is, you just type in the name. And go to C2, and I typed in meaning of Jill, and it just offers name. And so all of these things just come up. They offer this to you. They say, well, you could look in this one, this one, this one, this one. Well, look at first one. It says it means youthful. And so already I've got the meaning of the name. And in my spirit I go, does that ring true with the dream? If Jill dreamed it, and she might be in it, it might be for her, does it ring true? And in this particular dream, there was a young girl in it. And I think God was trying to talk about some of the youthful things in her life. Totally cool. So then go to the next screen, C3, and I looked up Matthew. And just type in Matthew. Sometimes I just highlight Jill and put in Matthew, and then it goes to the next one. And so down there it means gift of God. So it's real easy. And then Melody thought I should bring some with me for later on. So if you want to go up to the part where it says meaning of names 1 and 2. We'll just look at those real quick.
Let's see if it's the next one.
No,
Yeah.
We'll just leave it. It'll come up later. So this is in our website. These are numbers. Numbers are important in dreams. So we're doing good.
Okay.
And I'm just going to reiterate that you'll know if the research bears witness with your spirit. But don't try to do every detail. Just break it down, okay? So we'll get to that, break it down in a minute. Okay, so this, numbers, if it's 3 to 4 numbers, think of things that are usually 3 to 4 numbers. Like the Hebrew concordance, right? The Hebrew, every word has 4 numbers, right? Or 3, or 2, or 1. What's that?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily? Well, sometimes it could be 2 numbers, 1 number. But it goes all the way up to 4 numbers, I think, right? Or whatever. So sometimes God could be saying, look up in the lexicon concordance. And I don't think it's next, but...
If not, we can go to it. Hang on a second.
Well, I think we're okay. It'll just come up later.
Do you want the lexicon?
No, we'll be fine. They'll know when we bring it up.
Okay.
And then, so there's places to look up those numbers. And I've got some examples for blueletterbible.org.
What was that?
Blueletterbible.org is a place to look up. Or the Lexicon Concordance, which actually has the C-O-N kind of just once. So it's actually lexiconcordance.com. And I don't have that on there. And Strong's Online. Well, that's the Strong's exhaustive online lexicon under Lexicon.
Lexicon's free.
Lexicon Concordance.
Yeah, that one's free if you download the app. The other one, Strong's, costs $1 something.
So whatever's available to you, and you don't have to pay any more. That sounds great. And then we had an example of 5:28 a.m. in the morning. So that's a number, right? The time that you wake up and you dream this. And Melody types it in as frequency 528. She's going to talk about that later. But isn't that cool that God would even talk in a whole other way that I have no idea what she's going to talk about? So amazing. And then 4 numbers in a row. She said she got a physical address. Somebody got 6311 was a number. And to confirm it, they saw a house, and guess what the address was? And they moved in, and there were a whole bunch of dreamers in that house. And from that dream came the store, the t-shirts, and I don't know what else, but it's like amazing just from a 4-letter number, 4-digit number, there we go. Okay, that's good. And then 5 numbers, 5 or more. She had like a 169 blank, I don't know the numbers. And she wasn't sure, it wasn't all the other things, and it was somebody's badge number. They had, on their badge, they had the number for their job.
A workshop.
In a workshop. And so that connected them. And so, and then I did the time with the frequencies, but the time more recently, they woke up, and the time was 2:51 that the dream that they woke up. So they just go to, Seneca types in Bible, and instead of 2, they did 2:5. So 25:1, verse 1 in the Bible. But the numbers all go together. So you try anything. Try something that works. And 8 different verses. 1 in Genesis, 1 in Exodus, 1 in Jeremiah, 1 in Ezekiel were really highlighted from those 8 verses. And it basically said, and the word of the Lord came to, and then the story gets longer and longer. It's so amazing. Little details that just keep bearing witness with theirs. So we're going to go to the next slide. to show you a little bit of how somebody's dream, it happens to be Melody's, that we called it fossil faces. And we always try to like read through the dream and then we kind of title it so that we can come back to it and refer to it real well. So I call this fossil faces.
And Carmi, make it clear that what they're seeing on the screen and what you're talking about is what's on the online forum. That's where all of this is happening, is on the forum that we were
Okay.
talking about earlier. That's where all of this is.
Okay, I copied it as best as I could onto a Word program. So online, this is a little bit what it looks like. It has, instead of Melody Pash, it has her picture by it. And so the parts that are a little bit highlighted right there, the 4 areas, I'm going to read that because that was her dream that she dreamed. And it said, at the top, the date was significant, 1/27. Not doing very well with my eyesight, so hold on. So 1/27/12 on the 12th, 2012, 5:12 a.m. So I just went for 1. What's that mean? Oh, I was going to read the dream, huh? Let's go back to the dream. I was looking at the facade of a building. It had recessed faces in it that looked like fossils in stone. I heard a man ask me how all the children were. I answered him as I held a mirror image of each face up to its fossil likeness in the wall. And there's more to the dream. Do you want to just go to the next one and we'll come back? I heard a man ask me, oh, that's what I repeated, okay. I told him that the children were fine, but actually I knew that each one was dead, which sounds really sad, huh? So go back to the next one, that'd be great. So then I just went through the online. They had the numbers. Remember I had all that? I just went to that page, the numbers in the forum. And I looked up 1 and I got God beginning. So I just, there's several meanings that just said what would begin, God would be talking here. I don't know what, just trying to put things out there. 27 was a number, 12 was a number, 5, 3, and by the time I was done, I realized that 27 was 3 cubed. And I was like, if 3 means resurrection, 27 means resurrection, And so I was like, okay, maybe that's what you want to say, Lord. So then I was looking at the facade of a house, so I looked up what facade meant. I just looked at dictionary.com. So you see if something from that meaning means anything. And sometimes you just leave it, but I'm just going to go with it. Sometimes a deceptive one. Okay, and then we're going to go down to, it had recessed faces in it that looked like fossils in stone. And recessed could mean deep into something, or it could mean like take a vacation or relax, take a recess. So we just looked into all different sides, because sometimes God likes to use what I call puns, which we laugh at, but he actually uses it as his language. He could be showing you a beautiful sea, and basically what he's talking about is what you see with your eyes, or vice versa. And he just loves to use similar sounding words. I don't know what it is, it's amazing. The faces, it can reveal the heart. It said that in the, what do we call it in the back?
The symbol library.
The symbol library. In the back of our journal, we got a snippet from that. It's really, really good. And so the face reveals the heart. The face can represent the heart and a reflection of one's own heart. And then fossils, I looked that up in the dictionary, dictionary.com.